Good morning, everybody. How are you all doing? Sam here, United People's TV. I'm aiming for, I know, unprecedented, 2 non-chaotic days in a row with the new software. I've had the surgery, we've got the software, new beginnings and all that. It kind of looks like new beginnings for Manchester United. Omar Barada is in. Dan Ashworth, the formal talks have started, and I want to talk about the wider reaction in the press. It's not even trying to hide it. I've been talking about how they've enjoyed feasting on the corpse of United for so long, and they really, really, really do not want Manchester United to go back to the top. I'm going to speak about the latest on Dan Ashworth. Formal talks started yesterday. We have now approached Newcastle. I'm going to run through the Telegraph's article, the BBC's article, and as I said, the wider reaction to what's going on. Because there's a few conversations I want to have about the compensation, the gardening leave, build on what we talked about yesterday and what I did in the video yesterday. We're also going to speak about what we got down here. Manchester United's defensive record this season, and a stat that will really surprise, mate, it shook me. I want to run through that. I'm going to speak about Rasmus Højlund. We're going to speak about a few other things as well. And as always, you're going to fire in your comments and questions, and I'm going to answer as many as I can. It's bang on. I think 7 days ago exactly, I was under the knife. So I think I'm happier to be here. Let's be honest. Let's see who's here from the member gang. Man, it is green galore down there. Mate, Nuruddin yesterday, all of you. Nuruddin, Alex, anybody else who gifted memberships. Man, you're all amazing. And please all join the Discord. I know I haven't launched the Discord live call-ins on here yet. I'm going to wait for probably a week until this surgery's settled, and then hopefully next week. I've already got the software already ready to start now. Just haven't quite started it yet, but it is coming, I promise. Teklom, Off-Key, DJ Dino, Teresa, Stu, Shuabe. We've got Maddie, good morning to you. Robert, Saeed, Brian, Sandman, Al, James Maycox, Carl, you're there. Anad, you're there. Josh, I can see you there. Ant, you're hiding somewhere. T, I saw you at the start of the show as well. Good morning to all of you on Facebook. Who's here? Endra, we've got Onyi, we've got Mal, we've got Chamad, we've got George Lee, Kenny Johnston, James Williams, Danny Eames. Good morning to all of you. I think it'll be a good show today. Looking forward to it as well. Calvin. I can't, every time I say Calvin, I think Alvin Simon Theodore. I've really got to get that out of my head. Just think of Calvin Klein instead. It's far cooler. You just gifted 10 memberships, dude. Wait for it. I keep headbutting this mic.
I can't believe it. Football, bloody hell.
That's a little bit better. Get the mic out of my nose. Bang on. And I think there was a gifted membership there as well. Who was that? See, Mr. Billington. Mr. Billington indeed. Now, can I start this show by... I know that we all talk about Kobbie Mainoo and Alejandro Garnacho, and we're all excited to see Shea Lacey come through and Harry Amas and Amir Ibrahimov. But, mate, there is somebody that no one's talking about. He scored a goal yesterday, and I'm really excited to see the breakthrough of this player because I think he's got so much potential. I was trying to keep a straight face for as long as I possibly could, but I couldn't last any longer. Mate, Tom Huddlestone banging in a goal for United's under-21s against City's under-21s yesterday, and that was actually the winning goal. I think they won 2-1. So, mate, it's hilarious. Tom Huddlestone is, I think, the second iteration of it. The Man United started this new, I think it was it Paul McShane? I think it was a former United defender who was kind of like a player coach. And that's what Tom Huddlestone is. He's like a player coach for the under-21s who hardly ever play. Like the under-21s league is so crap. Under-18s, constant games. Constantly playing. Under-21s, game postponed, game change here, there. They hardly play. They can go like a couple of months without playing a game. Anyway, Tom Huddlestone. He's one to watch out for, honestly. Jordan, thank you for gifting a membership there, dude. Arthur, you're saying, Sam, how are you feeling? Still high on drugs. I'm reducing the pain meds now because I was off my chops for a good few days. Mixing codeine and morphine. Anyway, we're reducing them now because the pain is starting to settle. So first week is out the way. First 2 weeks are always the worst too. Hopefully after the next 2 weeks, I'm going to get my cast changed in a week's time, and it's far more of a lightweight cast. This bad boy I've got on right now is a monster. An absolute monster. Let's move on to the next talking point, and this is an interesting one, right? So, This has just been released this morning, and this is the coefficient rankings of teams in Europe. And it's basically the top 2 teams on the coefficient ranking in UEFA next season. Whoever finishes 5th in their league will get a Champions League spot. Because remember, next season, the new Champions League format comes in. This is the last time that we're going to be in the traditional Champions League group stages. Next season, it's all one massive group, if I remember correctly. It's one massive group, and you play, I think, 8 games instead of 6 games, and you only play each other once. There's no home and away. I don't know what the actual exact format is, but anyway. Because United got knocked out early, because Newcastle got knocked out early, currently, Germany are pipping us to that extra Champions League spot. Italy are flying away with it. They're going to get that spot. It's whether or not we can supersede Germany. So if, not asking for much, like if Arsenal and City, they can get to the semis, and then both lose in the semis, that'll be fine. Yeah, I can deal with that. You can have success until the semis, and you can just piss off. I don't know how much of an impact the Europa League has on it. Truth be told, it's probably not going to have that much impact. Liverpool, probably one of the favourites down there in the Europa League. Brighton are down there as well. So let's see what goes on. But as it stands, Manchester United are going to have to finish in the top 4 to get Champions League football next season. Now, that might change. It may well be that come the end of the season, finishing 5th will be enough. But United can't rely on that. Now, there's one more talking point I want to run through before we move on to the main conversation around Dan Ashworth. And this is to do with, I suppose, more change. Is that spotlight on? Get off. With more change at the club. And that's this. So, Eric Ramsay is close to becoming the Minnesota United head coach out in America. At 31, he would become the youngest head coach in the MLS by, I think, like 8 years. He's 31. Would easily be the youngest coach. Minnesota have been doing their own search. I think they brought in a sporting director in the summer. He's been doing the due diligence, blah, blah, blah. He has chosen Eric Ramsay. And I doubt Manchester United will stand in the way of Eric Ramsay. I know that I think Eric Ramsay is going to fall into the category right now of, well, the same category that Kieran McKenna fell into. The same category that Michael Carrick fell into. Where any sort of credence as a coach was completely dismissed because of how poor United are. Now, Eric Ramsay was brought in as a set-piece coach and a player development coach. I think it's safe to say that we're not very good at defending set pieces. We've actually got we've had more of a threat from set pieces in the last few games than I think we've ever had in a long old time. But Eric Ramsay looks like he's going to be leaving, which is an interesting one. I don't know whether that's going to lead to a direct replacement. I don't know whether that's going to be a rejig of positions inside the coaching staff. And I'll be completely honest, right? I don't actually know what Eric Ramsay does at Manchester United. I don't know what his specific job role is because I think it's changed and morphed. And I don't think it's ever been formalised in public. So I don't think anybody really knows what he does. But he's going to be, by the looks of things, going to Minnesota. So I would wish him the best of luck there. And I'll be interested to see if Manchester United do replace him with somebody else. Not sure. But look, let's move on to this, which is the big talking point. And I think on paper, if I was being completely honest, I think I would say that the appointment of the CEO, Omar Barada, is probably is probably a more important signing or appointment. You shouldn't really call them signings. They're members of staff, right? So they're appointments. But the right sporting director is pretty much like on parallel, isn't it? The CEO is going to be the man leading the overall vision. He's going to be the man in charge of it all. He's going to be the man that the sporting director looks to for help and guidance. And he's going to be the man to make sure every single decision aligns with the vision of the club. So technically that man at the top is the most important man. But Dan Ashworth is going to be the man leading a whole sporting department. He's going to be, as he likes to call himself, the man in the middle of the wheel, speaking to the head of recruitment, speaking to Eric Ten Hag, speaking to Omar Barada. He's going to be the man that connects everybody. So Dan Ashworth is important. And Newcastle know that. Now, this is what's happened yesterday. I did my video yesterday, mate. I hope you watched that video. I might even pull this up. I enjoyed this so much. I think I'm going to pull this up. 1 second.
Really excited and delighted to be here.
Oh, 1 sec. You got a little bit of a sneak peek there. I've got to show you this. This is the intro to my video yesterday.
Really excited and delighted to be here.
Man, that wrestling reference. I used to love wrestling. I really did love wrestling. But anyway, Newcastle are, and I mean this like capital F, fuming. They are so angry at what's gone on. I'm quite enjoying it, I'll be honest. And you're seeing the second stage of grief here. They've reached the anger stage. They have absolutely reached the anger stage here. Texas Toon had a tattoo done commemorating Dan Ashworth's major accomplishments at Newcastle. Funny that. I thought you were actually showing us the cups that Newcastle have won in the last 50, 60 years? I don't know. I mean, it could be. It's one of those two things, right? No, I'm not really sure which one it is, mate. But Newcastle fans are fuming. I'm going to run through what's actually happened yesterday with the updates because Manchester United now have made that formal approach. Everything up until this point has been interesting, and I find this probably one of the most interesting parts of it, is everything up until this point yesterday, it was actually Ashworth who led on that. And by doing that, he helped United in the negotiations. By going to Newcastle and giving in his resignation before we'd even made a formal approach. That's how much he wanted the job. Because think about that. Man United wouldn't have signed anything with Ashworth at that point in time. He went to his club and told them, I resign, before Man United had even formally approached Newcastle to try and sign him. That's a real sign of trust and a sign of how much he wanted that job. Now, I'm going to run through what's written down here. Jordan, thank you for gifting a membership down there, dude. Who was that to? Mika. Ooh. There you go. This is what it says down here. Man United have braced for a compensation battle with Newcastle over Dan Ashworth after finally making a formal approach. We go down here. Telegraph Sport revealed on Sunday how Newcastle are expected to insist on a compensation fee of at least £20 million if United want Ashworth to start work before the stipulated length of his gardening leave. Now, I ran through what the definition of gardening leave was yesterday, and it's, as I said, it's what is put in place to stop a person working for a rival company taking across trade secrets, taking across any idea or knowledge about how that business is going to operate for a fixed amount of time so that all the work you put into that member of staff can't then use it against you. That's what it's there for. Now, for me, and I'm not a lawyer, and I would love to speak to somebody about this because I'm trying to put the figures and the numbers together right. Let's pull this up here. Okay? Dan Ashworth is paid around £1.5 million per year by Newcastle, which makes him the top earning director. That's from the Independent. I haven't seen this report anywhere else, but I'm going to take this as a hypothetical, all right? And we can have a conversation around it. So say his salary was £1.5 million. Okay? Say his salary is £1.5 million. And they've put him on a 20-month gardening leave. So for all intents and purposes, let's just round it up. Why not? So that's 2 years' worth of salary. So that's £3 million. which would mean if Newcastle are demanding 20 million, that would be somewhere between 600 to 700% of his salary is what Newcastle are asking for as compensation, which to me seems excessive. Now, I would love to know about the what rules there are here. I'll be interested to see if it goes down this route. I don't know whether it will. Okay, I think this is just going to be a back and forth, a negotiation. I personally feel that Manchester United will settle somewhere around about the £10 million mark. And when you think about this, right? So Newcastle. Oh, wrong one. That's empty. A bit like your trophy cabinet. Newcastle paid Brighton £6 million. Okay? And that's how they got Ashworth out of Brighton to Newcastle. It's fair to say that Ashworth from Newcastle to Manchester United is a bigger move. He is a bigger name. So therefore, it's going to come with a premium. I understand that. 6 million. I think 6 million, even if you double 6 million, and that would be a lot, but say you doubled it, that's 12 million. And I even think that's probably a bit much. But the thing I would be curious to find out here is what falls in terms of the realms of reasonable. Because And this is the thing where I think Newcastle will probably have some power in negotiation, right? We go down here because it says this. It is understood that Ashworth's contractually agreed period in which he is unable to work for another top Premier League club is twice as long as initially thought. So if Newcastle, right? And then what you're looking at here, ladies and gents, is the power of a good contract. And why they are so important. Because if it's contractually written in that he can't work for another top Premier League club, and it's twice as long as people thought, and Dan Ashworth signed that, then he's put United in a tricky position. And United would have known this, by the way, before going in. They would have asked him completely, be open, how long is your gardening leave? I just wonder, the thing that won't be written in a contract is how much that compensation number could be. So Newcastle can just make it up. 20 million, 40 million, 60 million. They can make up whatever number they want that to be. 20 million for me feels excessive. And I think, honestly, I think this is just, like, for example, okay? If you were going to try and buy a house, and before you tried to buy the house, you actively, well, directly or indirectly, you pissed off the people that you were buying the house from. Do you think that they're going to be reasonable in negotiations? Or do you think they're going to be spiteful? I think you know the answer to that. And Newcastle here will be exactly that. They feel that they've been done dirty because Ashworth had been speaking to United before and Ashworth told them that he wasn't leaving, and all of a sudden he is. Anthony, you can hear the seagulls. I love the sound of seagulls. You can. I've got a little Eric Cantona little shrine over there. It's just two seagulls. I don't hold seagulls capture. Capture. JC, you just gifted 10 memberships, dude. Thank you. Thank you so much. And Jordan, you gifted one as well earlier, but I was halfway through a conversation. Wait for it.
I can't believe it. Football, bloody hell.
I'm looking forward to updating these. Every 3 weeks, I'm going to update them and change what it is. Yeah, I seem to use buying house analogies a lot. Don't know why. Right? Brachiosaurus Rex. I don't like to hate on content creators, but the kickoff is pretty anti-United. Seeing Geordie playing Dan Ashworth was therapeutic. Dude, guy's a melt. Don't like him. Normally you keep that sort of stuff to yourself, but I don't care. If he's unhappy, then I'm happy. Let me see what you're saying down here about the comments and questions here. Can't Ashworth just go to INEOS as director of football? Now, look, Dean, you could think about workaround. You could try that, but then you're really going to be stepping onto the toes of contract employment law. But yeah, I wonder what because I don't know, just in my head, like the reason that the Bosman rule exists is because players prior to the Bosman ruling couldn't leave football clubs, and that was brought in to give players more power in contract negotiations, and they could run their own contracts down and be in control of where they wanted to go. If Ashworth has signed the contract that means that he's got a 20, I don't even think it's a 20-month gardening leave. I think it's just he's got 20 months left on his contract and they put him on gardening leave. So I think that's what it's going down as. And if it's only look, as I said, if it's only that amount of money, Newcastle will just try and be as spiteful as possible. Newcastle thought that they were getting everything. Look at us. Great. We don't care where this Saudi money's coming from. We can become the new city. We don't care. Just bring it all. Spend it all. Billions. I don't care what company it comes from. I don't care what country it comes from. I want to win all the trophies because we haven't won a trophy in like 60 odd years. That's what they thought they got. And instead, they can't spend any money. And instead, their sporting director, as soon as United have come knocking, has walked away. That's the scale of your project, Newcastle fans. Nothing. And I hope it crumbles spectacularly. I really, really do. But Newcastle are going to be arseholes about this. And I don't reckon it'll be easy. I get the feeling that... My prediction is that the compensation is going to be somewhere in the region of 10 mil. I think it'll be there. That feels reasonable. It's nearly double what they pay Brighton, so it's a massive bump up. Gerald, you're down there saying, Sam, it's scary. Dan can do the same to us. Where's he going to go? There's only... Manchester United, people don't want to admit it. And I'm going to move on to speak about this next. People don't want to admit it. Manchester United are still one of the top 5 clubs in the world, despite how self-deprecating we have been because of our owners in the last 20 years. We are still one of the biggest 5 clubs in the world. It is Real Madrid, it is Barcelona, it is Man United, it is Liverpool, and it is Bayern Munich. They are the biggest 5 clubs in the world. Dan Ashworth is not going to be walking away from United unless one of those clubs come calling. I don't particularly think that they will. A couple of super chats here. Let me read these out. Anuj, thank you very much, dude. You said, hope you're well. Did Barada have to go through gardening leave as well? It did. He did. His gardening leave is until the summer. And that's kind of standard, like par for the course. It's just Newcastle are fuming. So they're just adding things on top and saying, well, what are you going to do about it? Pay up or he can just rot in the corner, is what they're trying to suggest they're going to do. And I wonder whether from a contract employment perspective, how much power do they have to do that? They can do it to a certain degree, but 20 months feels unreasonable. We'll find out, I suppose. Nuruddin, you aim for 500 likes. Big up to you, dude. As always, I don't know how many likes we're on. I really need to see on here how many likes we've got. I really do. I'll try and get a visual on that. See if I can get that throughout the show. Right. And I want to move on to this, okay? Because this just happens everywhere. And it's not the first time I've seen anything like this. It won't be the last time I see anything like this. But Jonathan Liu is... I actually quite enjoy his writing style. Writes for The Guardian. And he writes this, okay? I've got to go full screen on this one. It's objectively quite funny that a club trying to wean itself off celebrity signings and establish a functional structure is building that structure entirely from celebrity signings. And my word, you're thinking like, boy, people do not want United to get back anywhere near the top. They've enjoyed it so much that they do not want to let go of it. Building a structure entirely from celebrity signings. So this is the same Jonathan Liu, by the way, that, what is it? December 2020, Manchester United need the structure to break the blame and burn cycle. Players, fingers will be pointed at individuals after United's latest failure, but they reflect a club without a functioning strategy or setup. Okay, Dan, so you said that in 2020, and now you're saying, hold on here, actually. Now that United are going out and getting the best in class, we've gone out and got Omar Barada, who was the City Football Group chief executive, overseeing their whole project. We've gone and swooped in and persuaded him to come and become our CEO. And now we're going after Dan Ashworth, our number one target, who is highly rated and considered one of the best sporting directors in England. And now, all of a sudden, they're just celebrity signings. Okay, so Omar Barada was such a celebrity that not one person in the media mentioned his name until he became Man United CEO. And now he's a celebrity. Like, boy. Like, I can't tell you how insufferable I'm going to be when United are good again. I'm going to be there like guns akimbo, both barrels, 24/7. I'm going to be relentless. I'm not going to take my foot off the gas pedal. That's the most American thing I've ever said. Because people are just so upset. This is what I mean about moving the goalposts. So, okay, Jonathan, in 2020 you said, oh, hold on, United needs to get a new structure in. Now United are getting a new structure in. Now, hold on. I don't think it's the right new structure. I think two celebrity. What do you mean two celebrity? I just write the headline anyway. What do you mean two celebrity? It's baffling. It's unsurprising, but it's baffling. And it's just goalposts being moved. United, damned if you do, damned if you don't sort of thing. Imagine that. We're finally going after the best in class in multiple areas, and all of a sudden they're too celebrity. What a strange article to write. And like, prepare yourselves, man. Like, I'm looking forward to it. I'm looking forward to building that sort of fort again. Like, just reminds me, because I watched it recently, was the Beckham documentary after the World Cup. When he came back into Old Trafford, it was like, close the doors, close all that noise out. You're in United. You're here together. We're a family. We'll fight now together, and we'll cut out all the other noise. That's what we're going to have to build as a fan base again. We're going to have to all hunker down, get together, and just start firing back, because people are going to be angry. They're going to be angry. And for the first time in a long time, I've got confidence that we're actually heading in the right direction as a football club. And that even if it doesn't work out with Erik ten Hag, and between now and the end of the season, the football collapses and we all fall off, we've got a CEO in charge who's going to be in charge of a vision that now means that the next manager we have is going to be part of a vision. And a sporting director who's also going to make sure that is the case too. Like United, we're on a different path now to where we have been for a while. And people will not like it. One iota. They want to keep being the vulture, to feast on the corpse of United, because they've had a diet of, they've just enjoyed eating our dead body. We'll ever come back to life though. Matthew Plummer, Sam Jewell to Chelsea. Romano's confirmed. Let's have a look down there. Oh, wow. Let me pull this one up. So this was, it was a possibility, all right? It was a possibility that this could happen. Obviously now it can't. Brighton's head of recruitment, Sam Jewell, has agreed to join Chelsea to bring this up. He'll be part of a multi-club project to bring in and select new players. Been placed on gardening leave as Mike. Oh, look at that, placed on gardening leave. What's that? Is that just something, when you agree a deal? Anyway. So Sam Jewell will not be the head of recruitment at Manchester United. This is still a position that we are going to employ someone in. Sam Jewell was linked with the role. Maybe it was because of the Ashworth links. Maybe it was because he's good at what he does. But not Sam Jewell. I don't think it'll be Paul Mitchell-Lana. But anyway, isn't that too celebrity a signing? I think somebody should write an article about that. What do you reckon, Jonathan? Should we go and Talk about Chelsea celebrity signings and the structure they're building? Nah. No, I didn't think so. Don't think so. Anyway, can I show you... Let's move on from that. We're going to just end up waffling. I quite enjoy having a little bit of a part I suppose that's kind of what the part of the live shows are. I can't wait until United are good again, man. Oh. I'm going to be such a dick. Sam Ree is saying, Sam, can you wind up Newcastle fans more? Mate, do you know how angry I'd be? Honestly, if my club had not won a trophy in like 70 years, and I had the club of the size of Newcastle, do you know how pissed I'd be? I would just be like, 70% of my body would be resentment. Be like a little bit of blood, a little bit of bone, 70% resentment. Just anger. Just wake up swearing and you haven't even got Tourette's. Anyway, let's move on to this next talking point. Because this feels like an anomaly to me. All right? This stat. This was on Monday Night Football last night, right? The fewest goals conceded from open play this season in the Premier League. And there's only 3 teams that have conceded less than United from open play. Arsenal, Liverpool and Everton. We've conceded the same amount of goals from open play as Man City in the league. And the reason I'm saying that feels like a massive anomaly is this, right? Look at the shots that we've conceded. Like just the last 3 games, all right? Luton, 22 shots, 4 on target. Aston Villa, 23 shots, 10 on target. West Ham, 22 shots. So that's in the last 3 games, 22, 45, 67 shots that we have conceded in our last 3 games. Yet we have conceded the least amount of goals from open play. Which is telling you a couple of things. First of all, the teams we are playing, they're crap in front of goal. But also, B, and I've thought this as well, like, if you go back and look at the Liverpool game earlier this season, and you look at the stats, and you didn't watch the game, Liverpool had 34 shots, something like that? You think, oh man, Liverpool dominated. How did they not get anything from that game? Well, they got a point. If you watch the game, you will realise that Liverpool didn't have many, properly clear cut. I think Trent had one clear cut and he spooned it a little bit wide. So many of them shots for distance, blocked cross it, not clear cut opportunities. But fair play to the defence. And I think Onana might be deserving of a little bit more praise than he's getting in that sense. But this as well, this is a cracking stat. Fair play to Rafa Varane. Aerial duel win rate in the Premier League this season. Rafa Varane is winning 90% of the headers he goes up for. Fair play, Rafa. That's better than I thought it was. I don't particularly think the weakness of Rafa's game is in that sense. The weakness of Rafa's game is when he's got to defend the channels, when Man United are playing a higher line and he's got to cover in the space in behind. I think that's probably where Varane's weakness exists more than in the duel, in the aerial duels in particular. Someone's asking the source of these stats. That's from Manchester United directly, and the other one was from Sky Sports. But yeah, that one kind of really surprised me. Jibat, you're saying one way of interpreting the shot stat is we defend the box very well, but our defending around the box is atrocious. Need to be tighter, mate. That's exactly what it is. The Manchester United in an enclosed area of our own box, we are good at reducing the opposition to shots outside our penalty area. Hence why, look at that, 22 shots, 4 on target. Lots of speculative efforts. Aston Villa, far more. Onana had some good saves in that game. He was really important in that game. West Ham, 22 shots, only 3 on target. So many of their chances came from crosses that didn't really end up leading to anything. We're better at defending our box than I think people... And Johnny Evans in particular against Luton, by the way, coming on. Really, really good in defending his area. But the area that we are horrendously weak is in conceding those shots. The space between our midfield and our defence when we get hit on the counter, the transitions, and those opportunities. So we are conceding way too many opportunities. But I tell you what, we're not conceding that many goals from them. So the last line defence is probably actually performing better than I think people are giving it credit for. And that's like the arse twitching defence. You're like, well, I don't want to see United defending this many crosses or this many shots or this many corners. But we're actually better at doing it than I think probably you realise. I realised anyway as well. I'm going to go down here and read some of your comments. Evans was a colossus in the air against Luton, mate. He was. Evans was really good. I'm definitely swinging more towards the fact that I'd probably give Evans a 1-year extension and then use Evans next year how I thought Evans would be used this year. Like hardly at all. Maybe coming in for a cup game or there, and he'd be fine and happy with that. His wife, Helen, works for United, works on the podcast. He loves being in and around Manchester. I imagine Johnny Evans goes into a coaching role at Manchester United straight after he finishes his career. And I think he'll be very good at it. That's what I think so anyway. Mate, Nuruddin, every day, man. Every day I'm hustling.
I can't believe it. I can't believe it. Football, bloody hell.
Big up to you, my man. Thank you very much. Who? Let's read out some lucky peeps. Mark, Double Mark, Wan, Michael. Let me see I think if I type Discord in this chat here, wait for it. Has that worked? I've even got some of the chat bot working. That's the next thing here. Mods and anybody, you need to come into the stream suggestions tab in Discord. I've just left it there for any new ideas you want to take this up another level. Discord call-ins are coming very, 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 very soon. But yeah, I thought that stat was pretty cool. Where's this? This is definitely something I want to have a little conversation about this morning. Do you know how Ole Gunnar Solskjær, right? When it comes to Solskjær, Lampard and Gerrard, and the job opportunities that those 3 managers have got over the last 5 to 6 years is ridiculous. Lampard has been a catastrophic failure at Chelsea twice. Was it Derby? He was pretty crap at. I think Derby wasn't too bad at. It was still pretty crap. Gerrard was great at Rangers, and then Aston Villa. I think he's not even won in like 2 months. Solskjaer's name has never really been linked with any of these jobs. And now he's getting linked with the Bayern job on a interim basis, maybe until the end of the season if Tuchel gets sacked. Ollie, man, if you can go out there and beat Guardiola, just like you did so many times as United manager, beat Guardiola and knock City out of the Champions League, I'll buy a Bayern shirt. Man, that would be awesome. That would be awesome. And Bayern, if you wouldn't mind, by the way, if you wouldn't mind, just go and get Xabi Alonso. Come on, that's what you do. You go and sweep up the best of what there is in Germany, coaches, players, all that jazz. Just go and get Xabi Alonso. ASAP Rocky, get him before Liverpool does. I think my point here is that Solskjaer, I feel, is such a... He gets no credit or any sort of praise for anything good he did at United. He's only remembered for the downfall at the end. And it was a downfall. And it was right when he left. And I'm not saying that you got to U-turn all your opinions on Solskjaer that have been formed, but to completely discredit him and saying he's got absolutely nothing as a manager, I think is a massive disrespect considering how many free passes Lampard and Gerrard get and still get. And they'll still get linked to jobs. I'd love to see Solskjaer going to Bayern Munich. And I think he'd do a very good job there on an interim basis until the summer, of course. Nuruddin, he's saying Ole deserves to manage a top team permanently. I don't know what he wants to do, if I'm being completely honest. I think he was kind of happy to disappear back into Norway. I think his daughter left United's academy team. I think he was coaching some youth teams over there. I think he was enjoying sort of stepping out the spotlight for a bit. But I think he might be happy to step back into the spotlight. Mate, he had Guardiola's number at United. It was ridiculous, his record against him. Really, really was. Move on here to another nice little conversation here, which I think it's a nice conversation. Can I just say quickly, should always ask this earlier in the show, if you can, please drop a like on the video. All right, it make a big, big difference, and I'd love you to join United People's TV. So if you are watching and you're new, please make sure you subscribe. I'd love to have you on board. I'd like to think I know the quality of the content is really, really going up. Like the response that we've had to the Omar Barada one at the weekend, that was my favourite one. Put so much time. Big up to Aaron, by the way, editing on that one. Like we are investing big, big time into these videos. And the rest of United YouTube is going to have to react. Because we are putting stuff out there which United YouTube is not used to seeing. And it's cool to raise the quality of the bar. Jibak, thank you for the super chat, dude. What are you saying? He's saying the way we vilify and downplay our own legends while Chelsea and Liverpool fans sugarcoat the mediocrity of theirs is unbelievable. Very nice sentence there. Defies logic. I tell you who's a big contributor to that. Gary Neville. Mate, that dude downplays how good he was. So often. He was our right back for like what feels like forever with one of the best right wingers that we've ever had at the club. And their partnership, the Beckham-Neville partnership was unbreachable, untouchable. Work rate, overlaps. I mean, it was more of a traditional sense. It was a straight 4-4-2. It wasn't inverted fullbacks or anything like that. It was like bombing it down the wing, overlap, get the cross in. Never out of position. Always had the work rate, and he was a top quality right back. But if you ever listen to him, he can't, because he's so over modest that it gives other people the ability to sort of downplay how good he was. I think it's massively unfair to himself, but I'll be honest, he's an architect of his own problems there. Nuruddin saying make it get to 500 likes. I really need to see how much. Maybe I'll just get up on my phone. That'll probably be easier. I need to get it on screen. What if you can do like live call-ins on the phone as well? Probably could. Probably do more stuff. What are we at? Let's have a look. We're on 400 likes. There you go. I know it now. See? Got there in the end. Technology everywhere. I've got 1 screen, 2 screens, 3 screens, a monitor for the camera, a phone down there. Jeez. Anyway, let's speak about this. Because Rasmus Højlund has been revolutionary in these last few games. Like, the numbers speak for themselves. Look at that. Look at that. No goals in his first 14 Premier League games. And in his last 6, he's got 7 goals and 2 assists. And my video today at lunchtime, I'm really, really going to enjoy doing this one. Big up to Steve for helping. But I am going to be running through every single goal that Højlund has scored in the league. And we're going to look at the build-up. We're going to look at a few screenshots of each goal. The run that he made, the move that he made, the positions that he held, the finish that he had. Because he really deserves that praise. And all the criticism that he got from so many, well, I'm a United fan and I'm going to fire out some Højlund prop because he deserves it. But yeah, I think a little meeting with the main man himself there. Van Persie. Oi! Man. It's just that, like, they went into the game. I think Rio Ferdinand spoke about it, actually, on one of the episodes on 5. He's saying that Højlund was there and he was sitting with... So Fletcher was sitting with Rio, and then Højlund came over and said, can you get some time for me to have a conversation with Rob Van Persie? Because he was probably fanboying. Went out there, had a little half an hour chat with him. Boy, is he looking like... Honestly, this would be an interesting one in the comments here. Stylistically, right, no one's saying that Højlund is the next X. Right, no one's saying that. Stylistically, what striker does Højlund remind you of in a United shirt? In how he operates, in how he plays, in how he moves? Because there's a striker for me who I think he reminds me of a lot. And I want to see if anybody else says it down here in the comments. Mainly, you're going for Rooney. That's not the one I would say. Kelechi, you're saying Ruud van Nistelrooy. Rapid, you're saying Rooney. Basil, you're saying Cantona. Nuruddin, you're saying Rude. Van Nistelrooy, quite a few of you. Lukaku. But no, a few of you are saying the one I'm thinking of down there. Cavani. Cavani is the one that he reminds me of when I speak about movement. I think I'm really focusing on movement and positioning. The little darting runs, the little step back to draw the defender in before you burst the other way. I think that's who Højlund really reminds me of when I'm watching him. Finishing-wise, he's more towards your Van Persies or your Van Nistelrooys. He's got that instinctive, natural finish where he puts his foot through it. But I mean, in terms of the positioning, in terms of the IQ and how he operates, I think he's got a lot of Cavani about him, and also the aggression and the fight. Because that's what made Cavani so good. That's why United fans instantly took to Cavani. But on top of that, Højlund is banging in the goals. And look at this, by the way. Look at this for a little final stat for today. My God. Man United early this season, just garbage in front of goal, man. Garbage. You remember that stat that came out? It must have been after like 10 games where we only had one goal between Rashford, Antony, Garnacho, Højlund, Martial, like all of our attackers. There was nada. But look at that. With and without Rashford, Garnacho and Højlund starting, we're undefeated. They've started 7 games this season in the Premier League and our win ratio is 86%. To say that we found our front three is a statement of the century. And by the way, can I just bring this up now? Again, this won't be spoken about too much. Antony. Erik ten Hag, by so many people, accused of massive, major favouritism towards Antony. Where has Antony been in these last few games? Like, he's not even come off the bench. Erik ten Hag, and I think that's probably the most ruthless he can be, is kind of how he deals with Antony. Because Antony was his guy at Ajax. He brought him in. He sort of fathered him, helped him settle into a new continent, a new club in a new country with a new language, and he was there. And then he brought him from Ajax to Manchester United. So a lot was riding on him succeeding. But he's now dropped into the bench. And saying, is Ten Hag protecting himself? Like, no, fucking anything. Like, he's just, okay, my best front three is Rashford, Højlund, and Garnacho. It doesn't matter the fact that I've spent 80 million on Antony. It doesn't matter the fact that I brought him in from Ajax. It's not my best front three. And right now, he's not even a player who comes off the bench. So I think people love to say that Ten Hag has massive favouritism towards players. He's not ruthless enough. Well, this doesn't fit your agenda on that one. Because he has shown that, okay, this is my best front three. And Antony might not be part of it, but this is what's best for the football club right now. And I think that's really helped United. But look at that. 7 games they've started together in the league. We've won 86% of them. We've not lost a game. That's some turnaround. That really is some turnaround. What's that little one there? Oh, no. Ignore that. But look, last couple of minutes of the show, you know what the drill is. You can fire in any questions you want to ask, and I will try and answer them. But Newcastle are, in my opinion, acting like an angry football club, because I think they are angry. They're losing their sporting director. They want to get mega amounts of money for him. 20 million is definitely in the realms of unreasonable. They paid 6 million to Brighton. I think even doubling that would be a fair reflection of how much bigger the change is, but they want more than that because they're pissed. They're angry, and they're acting angry. And unfortunately, angry people are difficult to negotiate with because emotions are part of it. Let me see what you're going down here. Nito or Elise, says Piro. That's a really good question. My instinct would say Elise, because I think that Manchester United could really do with... I really want to focus on technical signings. And I think Elise's got more to his game with the ball at his feet. But Neto, at what he does, is an incredibly efficient and productive player. Neither of them would be a bad signing. It just depends on what profile you feel is more important. And yeah, the technical side of things for me is really, really important for any signing going forward. And any news on replacing the head physio? No, there's going to be more changes going on. Gary O'Neill, of course, Arsenal head doctor. Oh, by the way, gardening leave for Gary O'Neill. Okay, that wasn't 20 months, was it? Okay, so gardening leave for Brad, it was fine. Well, City weren't arseholes about that either. Oh, you mean it's just Newcastle? Okay. Paula saying, how's your ankle? Thanks for asking, Paula. I'll be honest, it's really good. Last time I had this surgery, the recovery was way harder. Probably because I'm used to when it's like having one kid and then having another kid. You know what you're doing the second time around, so it's a little bit less scary. But the pain meds were so off last time. I was never on enough meds to make it not hurt, but I was so doped up that I could hardly move. So I was stuck in this little parallel loop of not being able to move, but also not being able to sleep because the pain was too much. So I was ended up with like massive sleep deprivation for like the best part of a week. Jonathan saying, have you got months of physio? Boy, if I tell you how long this is going to take to recover from this, you wouldn't believe me. It took me about 14 to 16 months last time. This is like a full ankle reconstruction. We're talking about bones broken, muscles transferred, the foot points in different direction now compared to where it was pointing before. The foot does different things to what it does before. If I tell my foot to go left, it goes up. I need to retrain my foot to be a foot. There's a lot. But I did it on my right foot, so I know what to do this time, but yeah, it's going to take a long ass time. Would you prefer upgrading defenders or an additional striker, says Saeed? Can I have both? Can I have both? Is that right? No. I know that's what the not what the question was. I think defenders. I think we really, really need defenders that can defend in the channel. And by that, I mean that if the ball gets played over the top, our centre-backs are athletically capable of driving, of covering, and physically strong enough to cover that space on their own, rather than needing... Because the way that this Ten Hag system works properly is your fullbacks are so aggressive and that they join the front press. Because you've got confidence that your two centre-backs are going to cover that space in on their own. We can't do that right now. So we have to play differently. That's why we're stuck in between two different styles. And we will be until we have the centre-backs that really sit. And like Jared Brandt, I'm telling you, this is a really good thing. The centre-back market is great this summer. We are going to get elite centre-backs. It depends on who we sign. Whether it's Branthwaite, whether it's Todibo, whether it's Inacio, whether it's Diamande, whether it's Antonio Silva. There are so many top-class centre-backs. Tapsoba from Leverkusen. We are going to sign the centre-backs that we need, which is very exciting. Whereas in the summer, it kind of felt like it was Harry Kane or Rasmus Højlund, and we didn't quite know. Anyway, it worked out for us. We made the right choice. And I actually think we made the right choice. That's hindsight speaking there, of course, because I wanted Harry Kane this summer, all right? But hindsight, man, we've got it right with Højlund, and he's not going anywhere for years. So it feels like it's kind of ended up all right for us in the end. And it looks like Bayern Munich aren't even going to bloody win the league, which is going to be hilarious. Branthwaite from Everton. The more I watch a Branthwaite, the more I look at him and go, mate, that guy he would be a great signing. Really would be a great signing. But look at that. Did we reach 500 likes? I think we have. Big up to all of you. Yeah, I think we have. Well, we're about to. 1 second there. Go there, open that. What are we on there? Yeah, we reached 500. Oh, man. Nuruddin, man, you're such a don. Your sort of investment into this channel as a member and your investment into investing into United People's TV, mate, you are helping us achieve so much. You're helping us bring in the editors that come in and make these high quality videos because they're not cheap. But you're a legend, dude. I hope I fixed this spotlight, by the way. I'm pretty sure I did. Wait for it.
4, 3, 2,
did we fix it?
1.
Can I reach it? 1 sec. Not sure about that. Yes, Nuruddin. Oh man, you're so good, man. It's members like that make this community what it is. I did fix the light. Thank you very much. Right, well, what a way to wrap up a show. What a way to wrap, mate. He is a majority. I'm gonna happily announce that Nuruddin now owns 75% of Manchester United, of United People's TV. We're gonna be starting a formal takeover process quite soon. I will still have sporting control over what happens in United People's TV, but I think it's going to be good for the company, good for United People's TV in the future of us. So I'm looking forward to making that transition. A statement will be released in due course, all right? But look, thank you very much, everybody, for tuning in. I'll be here, hopefully tomorrow. If the ankle's a bit sore, I'll have a day off. But it should be all right, I'm hoping. I'll be here later today with a video on... probably around about 2 o'clock-ish on Højlund and the goals he's scored. Nuruddin, big up to you. This takeover is going to take like at least 12 months. I'm going to drag it out, gardening leave, all that jazz. I'm not going to make it easy for Nuruddin. Hostile takeover. Take it easy, everybody. Thank you.